Imagine this. Months have passed, maybe even years. The narcissist sees you again and expects the same person they once controlled. They expect you to explain yourself, to seek their approval, to react with anger, to prove that you still care, but none of it happens. You look at them with complete calm and quietly walk away. In that single moment, something inside the narcissist begins to break, not because you became stronger than them, but because you became someone they no longer understand. Carl Jung believed that true transformation doesn't happen when we change our behavior. It happens when we transform our inner world. And once that transformation takes place, the old psychological games stop working. In this video, you'll discover what really happens when a healed empath meets a narcissist again, why this encounter can completely shatter the narcissist's expectations, and how Carl Jung's ideas about the shadow and individuation explain one of the most powerful moments in psychological healing. Once you understand this, you'll never fear meeting them again. When a narcissist reconnects with someone from their past, they are rarely looking for who that person has become. They are looking for the version they once controlled. In their mind, your emotional reactions are predictable. They believe they still know which words will hurt you, which memories will weaken you, and which manipulations will pull you back into the same cycle. That confidence comes from the fact that, for a long time, those strategies worked. But Carl Jung believed that genuine psychological growth transforms the entire personality. Through the process he called individuation, a person gradually becomes aware of unconscious patterns that once ruled their life. They stop acting automatically. They begin responding consciously, instead of reacting emotionally. This is what the narcissist fails to anticipate. They expect the same fears, the same emotional dependence, the same need for validation. Instead, they encounter someone who no longer seeks approval, no longer argues to be understood, and no longer feels responsible for fixing another person's emotional emptiness. To the narcissist, this change feels almost impossible to explain. They assume you are pretending. They assume someone influenced you. They assume you are playing a game. What they cannot imagine is that the person standing in front of them is no longer the same person they once manipulated. From the outside, a healed empath may not look very different. They may speak with the same voice, smile the same way, and even show kindness, but internally, everything has changed. Carl Jung believed that real transformation begins when a person stops running from their own unconscious and starts integrating the parts of themselves they once rejected. This process creates a level of inner stability that cannot be taken away by someone else's approval or rejection. Before healing, the empath often confused love with sacrifice. They believed that being patient, forgiving everything, or constantly trying to understand the narcissist would eventually save the relationship. They ignored their own needs because they feared abandonment more than emotional exhaustion. After healing, that pattern disappears. The healed empath no longer mistakes guilt for responsibility. They no longer chase people who walk away. They no longer believe their worth depends on being needed by someone else. Compassion remains, but it is no longer mixed with self-abandonment. This is the difference the narcissist immediately senses but cannot fully understand. They are expecting emotional access to the same wounds that once gave them influence. Instead, they find someone whose wounds have become wisdom, and wisdom is something manipulation cannot easily penetrate. The moment a healed empath refuses to play the old emotional game, the narcissist faces something they rarely experience: uncertainty. For years they relied on predictable reactions. They knew when you would defend yourself, when you would apologize, when you would chase them, and when you would forgive them. Those reactions created the illusion that they were always in control. But now, the pattern is broken. Carl Jung believed that unconscious patterns only have power until they become conscious. Once you recognize them, they lose much of their influence. This is exactly what happens when an empath heals. The manipulation that once felt overwhelming becomes visible, and what is visible is far easier to resist. The narcissist notices this immediately. Their usual tactics no longer produce the same emotional response. Silence no longer makes you panic. Criticism no longer destroys your confidence. Love bombing no longer feels irresistible. Even their attempts to provoke jealousy or guilt seem strangely ineffective. To the narcissist, this is deeply unsettling. For the first time, they are interacting with someone they cannot emotionally predict. And when control disappears, fear quietly takes its place, not because they suddenly love you more, but because the version of you they believed they understood no longer exists. Many people believe healing means becoming emotionally cold. They think the only way to protect themselves from a narcissist is to stop caring, build walls, or suppress every feeling. Carl Jung would have disagreed. True psychological growth is not about becoming harder. It is about becoming more complete. A healed empath does not lose the ability to love. They lose the need to earn love at the expense of themselves. They no longer confuse endless forgiveness with emotional maturity, nor do they believe that tolerating abuse is a sign of compassion. This is an important distinction because narcissists often mistake emotional silence for weakness. They expect your calmness to be temporary. They believe that, sooner or later, loneliness, guilt, or nostalgia will pull you back. But genuine healing creates something far more powerful than emotional resistance. It creates emotional freedom. The healed empath can remember the good moments without forgetting the pain. They can wish someone well without inviting them back into their life. They can forgive without reopening the same door that once destroyed their peace. That is why the narcissist becomes increasingly confused. They are waiting for the old emotional cycle to begin again. But the cycle has already ended, not because you stopped feeling, but because you finally stopped betraying yourself. There is a moment in every healed empath's journey that changes everything. It isn't dramatic. There are no arguments, no revenge, and no final speech. The change happens in silence. The narcissist looks at you and realizes they can no longer reach the person they once controlled. Carl Jung believed that people often recognize changes in others long before they understand them. The narcissist senses that something fundamental has shifted, but because they have spent so much of their life avoiding self-reflection, they search for explanations everywhere except within themselves. They may tell themselves that you have become arrogant, that someone has turned you against them, that you are pretending not to care. These explanations protect them from facing a far more uncomfortable truth. You didn't become emotionally unavailable. You became emotionally unavailable to manipulation. That distinction changes everything. For the first time, the narcissist is no longer looking at someone who needs their approval. They are looking at someone who has discovered their own inner authority. And that is something the narcissist cannot imitate, cannot manipulate, and cannot take away. Because real confidence is not built on controlling other people. It is built on finally knowing who you are. Many people wonder whether seeing a healed empath can cause a narcissistic collapse. The answer is more complex than a simple yes or no. Carl Jung believed that every person eventually encounters the parts of themselves they have spent years avoiding. The longer those hidden fears remain buried, the more painful that encounter can become. When a narcissist meets someone they once controlled and realizes that control is gone forever, they may experience something they rarely allow themselves to feel: powerlessness. For some, this leads to anger. They may insult you, spread rumors, or try to provoke a reaction. Others may suddenly become charming again, hoping to recreate the old emotional connection. Some simply disappear, searching for someone else who can restore the validation they have lost. But underneath these different reactions lies the same reality. Your healing forces them to face a question they have avoided for years. What if I was never as powerful as I believed? That question is deeply threatening because it shakes the false identity they have carefully built around themselves. Whether they choose to face that truth or run from it is entirely their decision. But your responsibility is no longer to save them. Your responsibility is to continue protecting the peace you fought so hard to find. Most people believe the final chapter of a narcissistic relationship is watching the narcissist regret losing them. But Carl Jung would suggest that this is still a form of psychological attachment. As long as your peace depends on what the narcissist thinks, feels, or does, part of your emotional life remains tied to them. Real freedom begins when they stop being the center of your story. The healed empath no longer measures success by whether the narcissist comes back, apologizes, or finally understands the pain they caused. Those questions lose their importance because healing has shifted the focus inward. Jung called this process individuation, the lifelong journey of becoming the person you were always meant to be, rather than the person shaped by fear, trauma, or the expectations of others. When you reach that point, meeting the narcissist again becomes just another moment in your life, not the moment that defines it. You no longer feel the need to prove your worth. You no longer seek justice through their suffering. You no longer wait for closure that only you can give yourself. That is the quiet power of true healing. The narcissist may continue searching for control, but you have found something infinitely more valuable, your authentic self. And once you find that, no one can take it away. If this video resonated with you, I'd like to ask you one question. If you met the narcissist today, would they still have the power to control your emotions? Share your answer in the comments. Your story may become the encouragement someone else needs to finally begin their own healing journey. If you're fascinated by Carl Jung, shadow work, narcissism, emotional healing, and the psychology of personal transformation, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Every week we explore the hidden patterns that shape human behavior, and more importantly, how to break free from them. Because the greatest victory is not watching the narcissist change, it's becoming the person they can never control again.